Testing, 1, 2, 3. Hey everyone, my name is Riley Montley and I just moved into my 1986 Volkswagen Vanagon Syncro. If you don't know what this is, it is the third generation of the Volkswagen bus, and this is the Syncro model, so it's four-wheel drive, and this one in particular is pretty rare. It's a triple knob, so it has locking front, center, and rear differentials. Whenever you're looking at a car or a van to essentially live out of, there's a bunch of options, but a reason I picked the Vanagon is one, because it's just so freaking cool. The Syncro in particular, it's one of the coolest and most unique off-roaders that has basically ever been made, in my opinion. Combine that with the iconic look and the incredible use of space that this thing offers, I decided that this was the perfect platform for me. And what I mean by use of space is the engine in this vehicle is in the rear, and it is a cab over design, so you are sitting and driving over the front tires. Essentially what this does is maximizes the amount of space that you can use in a relatively small platform. This thing is only a little longer than most cars and much shorter than the majority of trucks, even though on the inside it's huge, and that's because of course the engine being in the rear, you are using all the space above the engine. My bed, my clothes, my storage is all above the engine, whereas normally in a normal car, that big old hood, all that space, everything above that is completely unused. And of course, one of the main things I do is overland adventures and off-road camping, and having a small vehicle that fits on the trails was incredibly important. I couldn't do a Sprinter, I couldn't do anything like that. So this platform and its use of space combined with the four-wheel drive capability it just checked all the boxes, and it's really amazing. I mean, you have this bench seat here, you can talk and sit and there's no problem, tons of headroom, and of course you have this seat over here, so 4 people can sit in here pretty comfortably. And that also means the storage in this thing is great, which is important for me because I live out of this thing and I'm a photographer, videographer, so I need all my equipment, all my clothing, you know, everything I need to live essentially needs to fit in this, which it does, and it's kind of a little apartment on wheels. Like I said, I spent the last 3 months building this thing out to my in particular needs and to kind of make it a traveling home for me, and so far it has been absolutely incredible. While the interior was a giant amount of work and I almost went crazy building it, it's awesome. Here's the app for my battery system. I will turn on the AC, which will then therefore turn on all the interior lighting. Sorry for the blurriness. And with the light strips going all the way around the interior, this thing really looks good and really looks like a little luxury apartment. The lights are controlled right here on this little panel. You can turn them off, on, and of course you can dim them and make them brighter. And that's all run under this box by my battery system. I decided to go with a standalone all-in-one unit from Anker. If you're into van builds at all, you know the electrical system can be a nightmare, and there are so many different parts of building your own and making it custom. I decided the standalone unit was so much better by far. My entire electrical system takes up just this much space in the van, which is really, really small for most of the custom systems. This handles the solar panels on the roof, it handles the AC charging from the car, and it has 2,000 watt hours of capacity, which throughout all my testing has been more than enough on the road. Plus it comes with a 5-year warranty. This just made so much more sense than building my own custom system. It's super simple, super easy, and if there's ever a blackout somewhere or I'm at someone's house, I can take it out and then use it somewhere else. It can even power welders. It has 2,400 watts of capacity output, which again, just being able to unplug some cables and take it out and use it somewhere else is another feature that you don't get on a custom system. Powered by the battery bank is my fridge right in the center here. I decided that having the fridge in the center and then storage right here, and storage under here was gonna be the best solution for me to maximize storage, because if this wasn't in the center, it'd have to go here and it'd take up all that room, or it'd have to go here. You know, it made the most sense for me to put it in the center, and I can still get from the front seat into the, you know, hanging out, you know, apartment area, I guess, pretty easily. This is a relatively cheap, I think it's around $300 Bouge RV 12-volt fridge. I keep all my food, coffee, everything in there, and it's been working great for me so far, no complaints. A must for me in this build was to have a sink, so I have a full kitchen sink with a removable cutting board. I like having that option so that it just completely extends the counter space and I don't lose anything, and then I can take it out whenever I need to use it, and that's also a cutting board. For my water, I'm just using the Dometic hydration faucet. This thing is just crazy simple. Double tap turns it on, single tap turns it off, and you just run a hose down to the water tank that I have below here. Very, very simple setup. The hose just runs down to a 7-gallon water tank. I fill it up whenever I need to, and it lasts a pretty long time in my experience. And the drain for the sink does go to the outside. As you can see, the water falls out from right there and just drips on the ground right there. And of course, I wouldn't do this if I was putting waste onto the ground, but the only thing that's gonna go down that tube is water and sometimes some natural, you know, essential oil Castile soap. Anything that's food related, I have a strainer that strains out the food, and I can dump that in the garbage. storage. So it's really just water that goes on the ground. It's nothing that if I was camping in a different scenario, I wouldn't pour out into the ground anyways. And it keeps me from having a 7-gallon extra tank to capture all the excess water that comes through. Which of course, in something like this, space is very important. So not having that extra space taken up by a container that I don't need is very important for me. Another benefit of this faucet is that you can see that tube was a little long whenever we were looking at the storage tank. I can actually unhook the faucet. This faucet has a magnetic base, which is amazing. Pull out that tube and then I can put it on the car, and then I can wash stuff out here. I can take a shower if I really need to under it. A lot of times if I get back from the lake or something, I've been walking on the dirt, I'll wash off my feet with it. It's just a very easy and convenient way to get water outside and inside of the van. This has been an incredible solution for me. And put it back, it just snaps on to the metal base, and then you just shove the tube all the way back down. So incredibly easy. Now this is the bed slash storage design that I came up with. It was incredibly important that this was very easy, very fast to do. So I had a lot of thinking. I took some inspiration from some Instagram videos and other people's builds, and I came up with this. So to get to my clothes, I lift this up and my clothes are all under here. I need to organize this better, but this is working for now. And then very simply, to get the bed going, I just fold this down. It comes down. Get my backpacks out of the way. And then the bed is just a 4-inch foam mattress topper. That's enough for me. I like a really stiff sleeping area, and this has been plenty comfortable for me. So I just pull that out and boom, bed is set up for the night in under, most time, 30 seconds, which was very important for me. Again, some people have these elaborate setups that take forever to get into bed and get ready. I did not want to do that. Whenever I was tired at the end of the day, I just wanted to be able to hop into bed and go to sleep. Pick this up, fold it back, and then fold the sheet all the way back, and you're ready to go. Very, very simple. I'm very happy with how this turned out. Not to mention it was also incredibly easy to build. It was like 3 pieces of wood and a couple hinges. Now, something unique on my van build that's a little weird, I'm not sure how big of a fan I am, but it is unique, is the ability to have 2 different tables in here for the different seats. You fold this up, fold that down, then you have a table for this seat. This is all unfinished, sorry about that. And the storage is all under there. So the cabinet drawer that opens and keeps the storage safe, it also acts as a table. And there's another one on this side for this seat. All you have to do to open it is just press right there. It opens on up. You get to take the leg down, and you have 2 tables allowing you to seat and feed for, or play games, whatever you want to do in there. This is a pretty unique feature. It's a little annoying. These are a little annoying because it's a giant door I have to open each time, and of course it takes up a lot of room in the van. So they're not the most fluent ways to get into and access your storage, but they've been working for me, and having this feature available has really been great. Even though this side has the much harder bench seat, again, I'm a little weird with this stuff. I kind of like a firmer seating surface, so I do most of my editing and eating on this side actually, which is funny because I thought I'd be doing it on that side. But this table has been great. The fact that it doesn't take up any extra room and it's just a dual function part of the van is really amazing, because I don't have to store a table somewhere or set it up every single time. I just unfold it and I'm ready to go. Again, convenience was big for me. I'm going to be using this table a lot for editing and eating, everything I need to do. So the fact that it pops out in literally 5 seconds was really big for me, and it's been great so far. Besides the fact that it's a little clumsy because I kind of have to put my feet up and then close it, so it's not ideal. If I was a professional van builder, I wouldn't put this in a van for someone else, but for me, it's great. Now that I'm actually living in this thing, I am fully using all the storage, and I have storage to spare actually. It's nothing fancy. Again, this is pretty simple. This is my first time building a van, so it's just crates down here that hold all my stuff that I need on a daily basis. And up here I have my stove, and then over here you actually lift this up and it gives you access to a big flat area. I keep some backpacks in there. And yeah, that's kind of it for the storage. Under there, all of this, and then the only other thing under here besides the battery bank is a little charging area. It's pretty rudimentary in here, but a little charging area for all my stuff, since I have a bunch of cameras, a little razor right there, and I have a cooling fan blowing air out towards the fridge, and there's one down here that blows air in. Since the battery does make heat and it's in an enclosed space, I want it to be circulated. Of course, we gotta have the quintessential little van pot. It's actually a T2, not a T3, but I'm not gonna complain. And then we have the full-size RV fan. I'm gonna be spending a lot of time in here. It's the summer right now. It is hot. Actually, what is it in here right now? What do we got? It's almost 100 degrees in here because I don't have the fan on for audio reasons. So it gets hot, and having a fan like this has been really important. I'm actually not a big fan of this. This is the Max Air fan. If you go on top, you can see it there. It's supposed to be the best one, but it squeaks a lot whenever it's on, because it uses a brush motor, which for how expensive it is actually really annoying. Also, the remote is just infrared. It's not actually radio. So unlike the lights where this remote can be anywhere and I can press it on and off, this doesn't even work for the fan over here. It has to be directly pointed at the fan for it to work. See, and now it's working. So that's actually incredibly annoying. For how expensive the fan is, you would think they would, you know, throw in some more luxury features. See, I put that in this little holder and it doesn't work. Really annoying. Putting this down, again, it's just a reverse process. You latch it into place and you can see the vent for my diesel heater. The diesel heater is actually all the way back there. I'm really happy with how it came out. The tank, this Rotopax up here, is actually the storage for the diesel. As you can see, I have a line right there that goes down all the way through a filter, goes through 2 filters actually, into the diesel pump, which is back there. And then the exhaust is super clean. That is the exhaust for the diesel heater right there. It just goes up into the diesel heater. It's only one bend in the exhaust pipe, which is really important for those. And it blows out the rear corner of the van. So it's really been perfect. It is a cheap Chinese diesel heater, so we'll see how it holds up in the long term. But I've been using it for a couple of nights. Even though it's summer in Washington, it gets kind of cold at night sometimes. So whenever it's been getting to the 50s, I've been turning it on at night and it's been incredible. It's super dry heat, gets very, very hot, uses very little diesel. So far it's been really good. Other than that, the van has a full-size spare tire rack. That's where the Rotopax is, of course. And I have a bag back here, trash roof style bags where I keep my dirty laundry and some firewood if I need to. Just some stuff that can stay outside. I got some extra oil for the van in there. And that's mounted to these aftermarket steel bumpers. These are amazing. I've already been hit by someone and their bumper was messed up and mine was absolutely fine. And whenever you invest this much money and this much time into a vehicle that is also your home, having something like this is really reassuring. So if, idiots hit you, you're not, doing insurance claims or out. Sorry, my camera cut off because it's overheating, but either way, that was the end. That's a little walkthrough of my van and an introduction to me being full-time on the road. It's kind of crazy that I'm at this point. It's been a long time coming. The van was so much work. The transmission also blew, so I dropped that and put that back in myself. So a lot of work to get to this point, but I'm gonna be trying to post as often as possible on YouTube. Trying to make this a thing, trying to make a living out of it. So if you want to follow along, please hit that subscribe button for some crazy future adventures and videos. Other than that, thank you guys for watching and I'll see you next time, hopefully soon. Bye-bye.